Hello. Hello everyone and welcome to week 6 of the GBA D-League Season 4. Now your New York Empoleon are currently 3-2. We are going to be taking on the Durham Druddigons coached by 6-foot hacks, and they are currently 5-0, so we have our work cut out for us here this week. Now, I think we have put together the team that is finally going to take down Leo. I really do. I put a ton of work into this. I've really worked with my front office, made sure that we have all the contingencies met, tried to figure out exactly what we think he's going to bring, and even if he doesn't bring what I expect him to bring, have answers to the backups. I mean, we have everything that we could possibly have this week, and it's the best team that I think I can field. Now, a lot of people were talking about Zazo's match against Leo, and how Zazo brought his B team, and they're pretty sure that, you know, like, you're going to make it to the playoffs, you're pretty set, you're ready to go, but I don't have that luxury. We lost in the first 2 weeks. We need to make sure we're getting wins, so I don't have that luxury to just lose matches now. I need to make sure I'm going in with plans and ready to win every single match from here on out. So, we're going to start off this week without delaying any further. We are going to be bringing Ninian the Milotic. It's going to be max HP, a bunch of defense with a bold nature, and 60 speed. The speed is used to outspeed a non-invested Cresselia there before we can get the Toxic off on it, before it sets up a sub or a safeguard. We have access to Recover, Scald, and Dragon Tail this week. Dragon Tail obviously really useful against some of the setup stuff on his team, like a Calm Mind Cresselia, like a Cursed Miltank. Get Zygarde out of there if it's at +1, something like that. So that's what this is supposed to do. Scald is there for general damage. It handles the Nidoqueen and Infernape if you really want to say that, but otherwise it's just general damage. It's just an attacking move that I can click. It gets a burn occasionally on things that can't be toxic, like Magearna or Nidoqueen, so stuff like that. And generally the Flame Orb obviously there for the maximum physical bulk, able to handle Mega Medicham much better, physical Infernape much better, Zygarde much better, stuff like that. So Miltank doesn't do anything to this. So Milotic is coming this week. The other half of our Mega Venusaur Milotic core will not be here this week, as you'll notice. We're going a little bit astray from that. Next up, we have Tornadus holding the Flyinium Z. It's going to be Prankster this week. Hurricane, Defog, Tailwind, and Knockoff. Obviously, Flyinium Z Hurricane should nuke anything on his team. OHKOs every single Pokemon with the exception of Magearna, Cresselia, Miltank, and Alomomola, and it does over 50% to all of those Pokemon. So this thing should be able to come in, click Z Hurricane, nuke something. I've had a couple of mock battles where this thing has had to click Hurricane after that, and that always terrifies me, but we're going to do the best we can with it. Obviously, Knockoff there for general utility by Z Hurricane, the Cresselia. Knockoff doesn't quite take it out after that if it's bulky, but it does get rid of its leftovers or anything. Prevents it from setting up a sub. He's forced to Moonlight, stuff like that. So, play some games there. Obviously, the Defog there because I really don't like rocks wearing down my team much. And then Tailwind is there because if he does go with the Whimsicott and has Tailwind of his own, he will be able to outspeed my Excadrill with some of his threats, like Zoroark, with Flamethrower or something like that. So I do want to have my own Tailwind so that my Excadrill can be so fast this week. And yes, we'll get there when we get there, but this next Pokemon is going to be Gigalith. Gigalith is coming with a Smooth Rock. It's going to have Sandstream this week. First time we're going to be bringing the sand this week. Earthquake, Toxic, Stealth Rock, and Heavy Slam. 244 HP, 236 in defense, and 28 in special defense. This thing gets insanely bulky when the sand is up, so it's good on both the physical and the special side, handling just about everything on his team. Toxic will handle any of his walls that he wants to have in on this. The sand also has the added benefit of nerfing the Cresselia's Moonlight, which is amazing because then it's only getting 25% back, but it's also why we're not bringing the Mega Venusaur this week. But Mega Venusaur doesn't match up super well against his team anyway. Mega Medicham's there, Cresselia's there. They can both handle it super well. Whimsicott obviously doesn't like taking a Sludge Bomb, but it has some tricks up its sleeve that it can handle Mega Venusaur with. So we're not going to be bringing it this week, but Stealth Rock, I think, is very important this week. I think breaking Focus Sashes, I think wearing down some of those walls over time, forcing him to click those recovery moves that he has more often, gives me chances to click other things. Now, I do know that he has the Miltank. I do know it has Heal Bell. I know I'm running Toxic on 2 of my Pokemon, but I think it's just really valuable this week. His team, he knows his team is sort of Toxic weak. That's why he has that Miltank with the Heal Bell. That's why he uses it all the time. He's got Refresh on Alomomola. I get that. Cresselia could have a sub. It could have Safeguard. It could have Psycho Shift. It could have all sorts of options, but I still think wearing things down is going to be my best option, and slowly getting that toxic damage to rack up is really important. Now, next up, we do have our Sand Sweeper in Excadrill. Underminer's coming with a Life Orb. Earthquake, Ironhead, Swords Dance, and Rapid Spin. I didn't need a fourth move. Between Earthquake and Ironhead, I literally hit everything on his team neutrally or better. And then Rapid Spin is there in case my Tornadus can't handle the rocks or the situation arises that I do need to click it. There are situations in which, you know, +2's Rapid Spin does about 25 to 30% to a Whimsicott. You never know when that situation is going to arise. So it's there for general utility, but I don't expect to have to click it this week. Max attack, Adamant Nature with 244 speed allows this thing to outspeed a Shift Gear Magearna if he does go with that option. It outspeeds Scarf Whimsicott under Sand. So Scarf Zygarde, Scarf Zoroark, all those. Under Sand, it's outspeeding all of those. So very, very good speed, and the ability to run the Adamant Nature really helps out this week. Earthquake or Ironhead should 2-hit KO anything on his team except for physically bulky Cresselia and Miltank. Otherwise, everything else goes down. Alomomola dies to 2 Earthquakes. Obviously, Whimsicott's going to die to Ironhead. You've got Infernape dying to Earthquake. Mega Medichamp's dying to Earthquake. So with the Life Orb, it's doing so much damage. This thing is really, really strong. So I think it's got a really good matchup this week. I think Sand makes sense this week. I don't think his team has a great answer to Excadrill in the Sand. And one thing I found through my mock battles is that this thing actually has the ability to come in and switch out. And my team can handle getting rid of the Sand until such a time as I can set it up a second time. And getting 2 chances with Excadrill under Sand generally does the work that it needs to do. Now, how do I set that situation up? Early game, Victini is going to be really important. Victini is max attack Adamant as well. V-Create, Bolt Strike, U-Turn, and Trick. 164 speed allows to outspeed everything on his team that is originally slower than it since he has nothing between base 86 and base 100. This allows me to outspeed everything that is Scarf that isn't base 100 or above. And anything base 100 or above obviously would outspeed me if it's Scarf and won't if it's not. Now, V-Create does a lot of work against his team. He has a couple of potential answers to it in Zygarde and Alomomola, but Zygarde is obviously a problem for Victini. I really don't like staying in on it at all. And I do have the Milotic to handle the Zygarde if I have to. And Gigalith can also kind of deal with the Zygarde if it needs to. Now, the real thing that this Victini does have is Trick, and Trick is going to be able to give something a Scarf. Now, there's a lot of Pokemon on his team that I don't think he wants Scarfed. Scarf Magearna really doesn't threaten me at all in this matchup. Scarf Cresselia, Miltank, and Alomomola would be perfect. Scarf Whimsicott lowers its utility so much. So I think having that Trick onto something else, giving it a Scarf, you know, he switches in his wall of Miltank with Thick Fat to take the V-Create. He gets tricked. Now he can't Heal Bell. Now he can't Milk Drink. He has to Body Slam or Earthquake. And he's now stuck in that. He can't set up. He can't do anything. Miltank is neutralized, and then my Victini can wreak havoc by not being forced into one move, probably getting leftovers, something like that. And that's what this Victini really wants to do. It's probably my dedicated lead to anything he does because it does outspeed a non-Scarf Zoroark, can Scout if it is Zoroark, get the U-Turn off, which does so much damage to an uninvested Zoroark, and otherwise just gives me information as to what he's going to lead with. If he leads with his Miltank or something to try to set the rocks up, I can get a U-Turn off, go out into something else, and go from there. Now, next up, and finally, we have Nino, the Gardevoir, double Scarfers this week, double Trick Scarfers this week, in fact, because he has so many things that I would love to put a Choice Scarf onto that I'm actually going to be running double Trick Scarfers this week. Gardevoir is here, Trick, Destiny Bond, Heal Bell, and Moonblast as its mono attack. It does get a little walled by Magearna, but if I can give it that Choice Scarf, then I'm totally fine with that. And I do live any Bullet Punch from a Mega Medicham, so I can outspeed that if I don't give it the Scarf and go for the Moonblast and Oko that. Infernape does not appreciate taking a Moonblast. Zoroark obviously doesn't appreciate taking a Moonblast. Nothing on his team really does except for the Magearna and the Nidoqueen. Neither of those things I think want to be Scarfed this week, so we're going to be running max special attack Modest Nature with 228 speed. That'll allow this thing to outspeed just about anything on his team that isn't Scarfed, and it'll outspeed a Modest Nidoqueen every time, even if it's Choice Scarfed as well. Now, I don't need it to outspeed the Nidoqueen, obviously, but it's not a bad thing for it to do. It additionally outspeeds the Magearna every time, no matter what. And again, those are the two things I really don't answer, but I do have the ability to go for Destiny Bond on a Magearna or a Miltank and take those out, trade Gardevoir for them if I don't decide to trick the Scarf out. So that is always an option. It's always there. Heal Bell's there for utility. I've been paralyzed by too many Body Slams in my life to not run that kind of a move on this thing. So I think this is the team that is going to beat Leo. If my team is going to beat Leo, if the 11 Pokemon that I draft are going to beat Leo, these are the 6 of them that I need to bring in order to do it. Now, hopefully you guys enjoy that battle tomorrow. I'm super excited. I'm babbling on. You guys can tell I'm a little bit nervous, but I will see you guys tomorrow with that battle. I hope everyone is excited for it, as we are the 3 seed. He is the 1 seed. We are going into this battle of the 2 highest differentials in the league, battle of the 2 of the best players at this moment in time. Obviously, Danza's up there as well, but we don't face him for a long, long time. So I hope you guys are well and stay well until tomorrow. I will see you guys then. Take care, everybody.